Softball has a funny way of bringing people together. This story starts in Canada with a player named Dan Carlson, a talented hitter, a student of the game, and someone always looking to get better. Along the way, Dan met one of the most respected hitters and teammates I've ever known, Dave Reed. Dave saw something in Dan, not just as a player, but as a person. And Dave did what great teammates do. He made a connection. Dave introduced Dan to me. That introduction changed everything. Dan made the move to Florida, committed himself to the process, and kept grinding, learning, competing, and growing. Today, he's not only developed his game to the Major Plus level, but he's also become my co-host on the Dugout, a place where we talk softball, life, lessons, and the stories that matter. This is what softball does. It changes lives. It brings together like-minded people. It builds friendships, trust, and camaraderie that go far beyond the field. From Canada to Florida, from an introduction to a partnership, from teammates to family, this is the power of the game. And this is why we play.
Hey, big day here at Art of Hitting. We got a special guest coming. Once you get here, he's always late. That's Bogey from the Swing Makeover Show. But before we do that, this is an unusual thing. We also got a guest, Dave Reed, one of the best power hitters in senior ball for a long time. I was his coach, but we'll go into that later. Not really, just kidding. But we're going to talk about how the three of us met and how softball is really about networking and changing just things that happen. So let's talk about how the three of us come together. Dan, why don't you give it a shot?
I was at a softball spring training camp, and I signed up for a game, the scrimmage game, and the pitcher didn't show up, so Dave came in, and he saw me play in for my first at bat. I had a good hit. Defense, I made a couple outs, and he came and he asked me if I played 50 competitive. I thought he was just being kind. I said, no, but I want to. And he says, I'll get you a team if you want. And it's like, sure. And we just kind of hung out a little bit the rest of that camp, and I fly back to Canada, and the next thing you know, I get a call from Ed Rose and Brian Normandin, and because of all that, I'm standing here with you today. So thank you.
Yeah, that's funny because you asked Dave if he remembered, but I thought you called me, but maybe I did call you. Yeah. But Dave and I are old people, so we forget stuff. And that turned out to be an interesting deal. We didn't know Dan from Johnny Appleseed, and he came down here, and we ended up. He stayed at my house for a long time when he was getting his house and everything in order, and actually I loved it because he makes the best salad in the world, dude. I was really down when he left because he does make a good salad. But look at this stud, man. He's got muscles coming out of his muscles, But Dan here, and the reason I call him Dave, I'm going to explain that to you. This is the Freudian slip. But Dan, when I first started hitting with him, he was all right. He was an all right player. Yeah, he was good enough to play with us. But he's developed so much in the hitting, and he's really a hard worker, dedicated to the game. And I guess I made a statement to you, you're going to be the next Dave Reed.
Which is almost embarrassing because of the pedestal that everybody, and especially I put him on.
Yeah. Well, I love Dave. Dave and I played together for 30 years or so, wasn't it, Dave?
At least.
Yeah.
We've
known each other since we were kids. And you were playing with Jerry's Lauderdale, and I played with Jerry's of Melbourne. And Dave's always been a great hitter. And we're going to go into that with the overlap grip and stuff like that in a minute, but we want to finish talking about here. You hadn't said anything. What do you think about that scenario? Isn't it kind of interesting that you put him with me, and then he's changed his whole life coming down here?
Well, personally, I think it's really cool because the first time I saw him and watched how his personality was, I said, this is a pretty good guy, period.
So you told him to call me because I'm a pretty good guy, right? No.
I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'm Mr. Evil. Go ahead.
Eddie, you're terrific. But the combination has been together for many, many, many years. And the softness, even when we're not, is still always there. It's when you meet someone that you really know that's really special and fairly quiet, that's what you want. I'm not really into guys that constantly have to talk about themselves and do all that kind of stuff, because obviously they're insecure and they're good players, but they have to keep letting you know that they're great players. And you guys are nothing like that at all. And then when you go out and play, you're fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dan should be on a super major team. But you know, in softball, it's kind of funny. There's cliques, and whoever is out there watching this Major Plus team. Look, I built championship teams for 40 years, and if I was at what age are you? 55?
Yep.
55 or even 50, he can still play 50. He's one of these guys that can be 60 and play 50. I'll bet my money on that. You missing the boat. So consider this an advertisement. There's a great player that could be drafted quickly. You don't have a real travel team yet, do you? You're not playing with Mike anymore?
A major team, and no,
yeah.
no, not with BP.
Yeah. So the point of this discussion was that just Dave referencing Dan, to me, things exploded. Tell him how it exploded, Dan.
Once I got here, or just the fact that I
yeah, well, you came here. You know me from John Appleseed. What was your impression when you came down here and met me and said, "Oh, Jesus"? You know, I was probably brash and you know.
No, really. Well, there's only one Ed Rose. That is for sure. Never met anybody before you like you, and there's definitely they broke the mold when they built you, dude. But it's definitely been a blessing to be here, and it's such a privilege to be in Florida and to have tutelage from Ed and Dave and all the other club members. It's really helped my game. And you never know. It just goes to show you never know what life can bring, right? I came down here in a softball camp, and here I am.
Yeah, and you got your own a podcast.
Right.
And assistant, and he's actually in the hard hitting club. He's our what do you call it? Expert in being a gym rat. No, look at this guy. Look at that. Look at that. Look, come on, man. Look, that's all built. He's built that in the last year and a half. He was all right when he came down here, but that's why we use him. And when you look for a video on how to train your body, you go to our channel and look for Dan Carlson's videos. I forget the category because it got 35 on there. But listen, guys, it's been great. Let's go in here. That's what softball does for you. The bond, the brotherhood.
This is why softball matters. It's not just about hits, wins, or titles. It's about people. It's about the connections we make, the doors that get opened, and the friendships that turn into family. From Canada to Florida, from an introduction to a partnership, this game has a way of changing lives. Dan Carlson, Dave Reed, and myself, we're just one example of what happens when like-minded people come together around a game they love. Softball builds camaraderie. It builds trust. And if you let it, it builds a life. Thanks for being part of the journey. This is the art of hitting, and this is the Dugout.